Hello and welcome, 2nd of October, it's about 12 o'clock. It's a beautiful day out there, a little bit breezy, autumn's here. I'm going to be picking some chilli today and I'm going to be multitasking and trying to tell the story as I go. I'm going to be looking down there where I've got some notes so I don't forget anything. Anyway, I'm going to pick the chillies. Right, so I sowed the seeds of these along with some that have stayed at home. Sowed the seeds in January. I've got a previous video about the comparisons between the plants, so the ones at home really tall but more spindly. These are more compact, they're a bit later to start for various reasons, so feel free to check that video out. I've harvested the ones at home now and the plants are finished, so I've cut them back. I'm thinking of overwintering them. So get this plant cleared of chillies. Move it out of the way. There you go. Multitasking going well so far. So, read my nose. These are mostly ready. Some are green. Some are red, but I'm going to harvest them at the same time. So for example, look, beautiful green chillies there, some beautiful red chillies there. I've got 2 or 3 different types of chilli plant. Just got your standard chillies. Got some hot lemon, and I've got some basket of fire. So we'll come on to the comparisons later, but so some are green, some are red, and I'm thinking about how to best ripen them because the sun is getting less and less as we go through autumn. So I'm thinking of ways to ripen these. Now, on the subject of ripening my tomatoes, I've got a couple of plants in the greenhouse. I've got a lot out into the plot and I was going to leave them a couple of weeks more. But we had a bit of wind. Let's have a look at the photos. Yeah, the wind. You can see what the prevailing wind direction was. They weren't mad winds, but maybe 30, 40 miles an hour. Those plants just toppled. They're only on sort of thin canes, so they toppled. I did try and right them, but some of the canes had snapped a little bit. So decided to take all them out of the ground and harvest the tomatoes. I've still got some smaller tomato plants out there that didn't get hit by the wind as much because there's not as tall, so they're going to stay out there. But I took my tomato plants. I'm left with a load of green tomatoes which are underneath this table, attempting to turn them from green to a beautiful shade of orange or red. So I was thinking, what's the best way to ripen tomatoes? So previously I had, a couple of weeks back, I've knocked some tomatoes off the plant, knocked some green tomatoes off the plant, so why not take the opportunity to do a little bit of a test. What will ripen tomatoes? So I took them home. Let's say I had 5. So I've heard that bananas help to ripen tomatoes. Something about the gases that they emit that helps ripen tomatoes. So what I did, I had 5 tomatoes. I put one just away from the windows. It's not in a dark room. They're all in the kitchen. Put some further away from the window, so no direct light, 2 metres from the window sort of thing, no direct sunlight onto them. One on its own and one next to a banana. I put one on a windowsill, not with direct sunlight, the sun never shines on that. It's a north facing window with the house opposite, so no direct sun in there, just kind of ambient light hitting it. And then I put 2 in direct sunlight that gets, on a south facing window that gets sunlight if it's sunny. Most of the day, midday to like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. One next to a banana and one not next to a banana. The results were not quite what I expected. Not quite what I expected. Just have a think what the results were. So, in reverse order. What is my reverse order? I've got it written down in a separate notepad. Right, so one of them has actually turned red in 10 days. The others not so much. The one furthest away from the windows, not next to a banana, is still the greenest. Next is the one furthest away from the windows, next to a banana. I'm not sure if you can call that orange or red, but it's not as green as it was. Next place is direct sun. In second place is indirect sun next to a banana. So I think the bananas must be doing something. I'm not quite sure what. Really, I should have researched online what gases bananas emit so I could talk more knowledgeably, but doesn't matter, does it? In surprise first place is, by a long shot in terms of colour, is the tomato, just on a windowsill, no direct sunlight, house within 3 metres of it, the next door house, no direct sun. It's amazingly orange. Now, whether this was a fluke, whether this was maybe that tomato was always going to turn green, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a magic plate. I'm thinking, is it possible that plate shiny? Does it act like a mirror? Does it like a concave mirror? Does it kind of focus the light, whatever light there is, on a tomato better? I don't know. I'm gonna continue to test with some more tomatoes, but that's just, I found that interesting. And a surprise result. If I was into kind of clickbait titles from our videos, what would this be called? This would be called Tomato Ripening. The results will shock you, or something. But no, nice sedate title to the video, as always. So, very halfway through. I maybe haven't timed this right, because I think I'm almost out of chat, and I've still got a load of chilies to cut off. So, lessons learnt this week is tomatoes outside, you know, whatever plans you like, sometimes nature has a different idea. Take them up now, it says. Autumn is here, it's time to collect your tomatoes. So I'm going to continue to pick these, and we will have let's have a weigh-in as it stands now on terms of chilies at home versus the ones in the greenhouse. I'm going to finish off this, and I'll see you outside in a minute. So the results are in. I say the results are in. They're almost in. The basket of fire chilies, I haven't harvested them from the greenhouse because none of them are really ripe. So I'll keep them in there. So we'll come back to that. They maybe tell a different story to what I'm about to say anyway. So I don't want to spoil my narrative. No, I'm just kidding. No, the basket of fire haven't done as well in the greenhouse for whatever reason, mostly because they're in a smaller pot. But anyway, and in a seamless transition, let's look at the results. So beautiful table in front of you here. Feel free to pause this video at any point now, take in all those numbers. So we've got the top of the table, the standard chilies, and the bottom of the table, hot lemon chilies. Let's look at some graphs. We're going to go through these twice. Right, so the red is the standard chilies grown at home and in the greenhouse, and the yellow is hot lemon grown at home versus grown in the greenhouse. Let's whip through these. So compare red to yellow. The hot lemon produces more chilies per plant. The hot lemon produces on average smaller chilies than the standard chili. But you can see that with your eyes on photos I've just shown. How does that even up? Well, if you take the average weight of chilies per plant, hot lemon produces, or did in my experience this year, produced the bigger weight of chilies on average per plant. Let's go back to the first graph and compare red versus red and yellow versus yellow. You can see here the chilies that I grew in the greenhouse, slightly less chilies per plant than those grown at home, but the average weight of each chili in both types of chili, the standard chili and the hot lemon, bigger weight of each chili on average of those grown in the greenhouse. How does that even up then? Well, in terms of the standard chili, the red bars, 60 grams worth of chilies per plant in the greenhouse, which is bigger crop if you like, on average per plant than the standard chilies grown at home. Hot lemon, even Stevens. Analysis over. In terms of whether I would continue to grow at home or I'm going to grow in the greenhouse, I'm new to this greenhouse. I only just built it this 6 months ago, so I think I'm definitely just going to grow chilies in the greenhouse in future. The plants are more compact and just at home they're just bigger plants, but they've been there for 9-10 months now. Everyone's getting fed up of them. I've cut them back and brought them here. I'm thinking about overwintering them. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to grow in the greenhouse in future. In terms of ripening though, I don't really need to worry about ripening green chilies, do I? You can eat green chilies, they have a different taste and flavour and intensity to the red ones, but I don't need to worry about that. These beautiful yellow ones, which are perfectly good as well, green. But yeah, I just need to worry about ripening my tomatoes, don't I? Hopefully they'll ripen in the greenhouse there under the table. If not, you can always cook with green tomatoes, can't you? Green tomato chutney like that. Or I'll just get myself another magic plate. Anyway, I'll continue to test that magic plate, see if it is indeed magic. But that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Click subscribe. Send me your comments. Hold up some chilies, Dave. I'll see you next time. Cheers.